Hey! Hello, it's Natacha Morice and welcome to the fashion codes of Air. Today, the codes of Nike Air. The swoosh, zing, bing, swoosh. The bubble, fresh air for everyone. You can do it. Just do it.
The Fashion Codes. It's a collection of videos to discover the icons and the history of a brand, their creation, their secrets, their mythology.
I'm Natacha Morice and I've seen every Nike archive. Nike wasn't built in one day. I'll tell you all the secrets, anecdotes, wrong ideas, good ideas, Nike prototypes, moments, fashion tips.
Hello, I'm Loic Prigent. Subscribe to the channel to see everything about fashion. And check our series with Natacha Morice, the fashion codes of Louis Vuitton, Dior, Céline, Jean-Paul Gaultier, Courrèges, Mugler, Balmain, Fusal, Lacoste. Go to fashionmoodboard.com for tons of free fashion content, long articles, long interviews, and the scripts of all our videos. Bisous!
I am Natacha Morice, and by the end of this video, you will be Nike heads. You're welcome. Welcome to the fashion codes of Nike Air. The creation of the modern world. I mean, Nike. Nike was created on the 1st of May 1972. Today, its headquarters are located near Portland in Oregon. Why? Let Mama Natacha tell you. Meet Phil Knight. Phil Knight, the Einstein of sneakers. A charismatic kid called Phil Knight is part of the Portland track team. In 1955, he goes to the University of Oregon to study business. There, he meets a super good track coach called Bill Bowerman. At the time in the US, there are two major brands for running shoes, Adidas and Puma, both German. So everyone is wearing the same pair of sneakers in the team. And the pair of running shoes is very expensive then. $9. I'm not kidding. This was considered expensive for running shoes. $9? Are you kidding? Do you want my arm too? After his studies, Phil Knight goes on a trip around the world, stops in Japan and discovers a less expensive running brand, Onitsuka Tiger. It looks like this, and it costs 3 times less than the German shoes. And so Phil Knight convinces the Onitsuka Tiger company to give him the license to sell these shoes in the USA. Ka-ching! In 1964, Phil Knight, who really bonded with his coach Bill Bowerman, creates with him a company called Blue Ribbon Sports. Les sports du ruban bleu. Ma foi? Their strategy is simple. Approach runners directly in stadiums and sell the Tigers at a lesser price than German shoes. On the 1st of May 1972, Tiger and Blue Ribbon Sports decide to stop working together. Tiger has understood that they should sell directly. So Phil Knight and his colleagues have no more product to sell. And what do athletes do when they fall? They get back up! So they create Nike in 1972 and they release their first ever running shoe. We still wear it today. It's Lacor. The sole is made of sponge rubber, which was the industry standard at that time. This material was quite heavy and expensive. This is a serious fashion problem. But Nike is about solving problems, as you will see. The name and the swoosh. In order to find the name of this new company, they do a good old brainstorming and everyone pitches a name. It's Jeff Johnson, the employee number 001, who comes up with Nike. Philip Knight proposes Dimension 6. Sorry, Phil, not good enough. Dimension 6, come on, Phil. You can do better, huh? Just do it. So, Nike. Nike. It comes from Athena Nike, the goddess of victory. Jeff Johnson was studying Greek mythology at Stanford. In French, we say Nike, which is actually close to knight when you think about it. When they start Nike, Philip Knight knows he needs a logo to make this look serious. But he doesn't have the money to hire a professional graphic designer. One day, in the corridors of the university, he overhears a group of female students discussing an art course they would like to be able to afford. Philip offers them to design a logo for him in exchange for a ticket to pay for the drawing course. One student agrees. Caroline Davidson. and she's the one who will come up with the swoosh. One of the most iconic logos in the world? The most iconic logo in the world. Swoosh! At the time, she is paid peanuts. $35. Do you get a coffee in New York for $35 these days? But a few years later, in 1981, once the company is thriving, Phil Knight organizes a party to celebrate Caroline Davidson. She receives a gold and diamond swoosh ring, and more importantly, Nike stock options. Ooh, Nike stock options. Yum, yum. The Air Tailwind. 1979, Nike launches the white t-shirt of shoes, the Nike Air Tailwind. Tailwind for the idea of natural speed. But why Air? Why Nike Air? Nouveau personnage. Meet Frank. Bonjour Frank. Frank Rudy. Frank Rudy doesn't work for Nike, but in the space industry as an engineer. And he loves creating things and registering patents. Frank likes to ski, but Frank suffers in his old-school ski boots. Rather than putting plasters every time, like I would, he decides to change his ski boots altogether. That's when he comes up with the idea of creating a
padding system based on an inert gas encapsulated in polyurethane plastic.
Bravo, Frank! So basically, Frank wants to put small amounts of gas into a plastic envelope. He's quite proud of his idea and thinks it might be of interest to more than one person. He goes to many sports brands, but nobody is interested. But no, Frank, it's not a good idea at all. It's not even an idea. I don't understand what you mean. What is it? Air in shoes? Read my lips, it will never work. Those trips to the moon really messed you up, Frank. Let me tell you. Frank Rudy ends up going to see a new young brand, Nike. Like we say, on sait jamais. At the time, it was still possible to meet the founder of Nike at a simple marathon trade fair. Nike was still very small. Philip Knight isn't convinced by Frank's super technical presentation, but he decides to go and test the insoles by jogging for 20 minutes. When Phil comes back, he says to Frank Rudy, "We've got something here." Nike immediately buys the patent and registers it under the name of the Air Sole. When they start working on integrating the technology in their shoes, some people at Nike are not convinced. So the researchers bring in 10 runners and have them run on a treadmill in shoes with air and then in a conventional shoe. And what did they find? That they were using 3% less energy running in the air shoes. In a competition, 3% is everything.
Phil Knight had his dream, and I helped Phil Knight, number one, fulfill his dream like he could have never imagined it would be filled. But as a quid pro quo in legal, this for that, he helped me reach my pinnacle of being an inventor.
Sports history. Nike decides to present the air technology at the 1978 Honolulu Marathon with their newest design, the Tailwind. What's the promise? Save energy with Nike Air Tailwind shoes. Your joints and your feet will be protected. A few weeks before the marathon, Nike does a drop, just as they do today. Only 250 pairs available. $50, so a fortune. We went from $9 to $50. It's very risky. And in the end, Nike Air Tailwinds are sold out in 24 hours, like ice cream during a heat wave. Once this is out, they decide to pump air into everything. Air into tennis, air into basketball, and of course they pump air into running. Air for everyone. And they pump. Are you pumped? I'm pumped. Are you ready for the Air Max 1? In just 8 quick years, Nike booms and becomes the absolute #1 sports brand in the USA, overtaking all competitors. In the mid-80s, it's the rise of fitness. It's a revolution in body shapes. Everyone becomes athletic. Let's do aerobics.
Call me Rafi.
And here we go. For the first time, women are the target of sports advertising. New brands emerge, and Nike needs to react. At the time, Nike's strategy with women was just to shrink and pink shoes.
You said pink?
It's facile. You take the shoe, paf! You make it pink. They will buy it. Easy. Okay, back to Tetris. They focus their efforts on sports like football, basketball, and baseball. Their thing is to make shoes for real sports, not for jumping up and down with Jane Fonda, the queen of fitness.
What?
Rafi, Jane Fonda is in the other room.
Where?
At the same time, consumers start to get bored with this brand that always talk about air. Air bubbles? Where? But when things really start to go wrong for Nike, when sales begin to seriously plummet, Nike is like, okay guys, this is a mess, we're going to have to do something. What if we had been wrong about our strategy? What if they have to see it to believe it? Aha! See! Air. Shh. Can you imagine that meeting with their $35 coffee? And they want to see air? Ah, good times. Think about it, we're in the mid-80s, the company is in real trouble. And they decide to stake Nike's entire reputation on this decision, to show the technology behind the myth, to reinvent Nike, putting back sports values and innovations at the center. At Nike, the designer Tinker Hatfield is in charge of finding a way to make the air bubble look good. Huh! So remember, it's never been done before. And that's when Paris plays a part in this story. Yay! Tinker is visiting and he goes to the Centre Pompidou, Beaubourg. This museum was designed by Renzo Piano, among others. It is a monument that has its entire ventilation and pipe system visible. It's like wearing your digestive system outside. And it's sublime. Aha! Epiphany for Tinker! Nike has to show the air pipes of the shoes. Let the light go through the bubble. And the original Air Max 1 is white and red in the same way Pompidou is grey with colors. The iconic Air Max 1 is released in 1987 and in the beginning it's for running, as most Nike sneakers. If you own the original one, you are rich. And don't give your address to anybody. The air bubble, la bulle d'air. Look, it's here. So, how does this air bubble work, you ask? Well, everybody asks since 1987.
C'est quoi cette bulle d'air?
The idea is that this gas that is caught in a polyurethane envelope will ride off the shocks when you run. It can't go anywhere, it's trapped, so it bounces back, and the knees and ankles are protected.
In the beginning, the gas is Freon 116. Hi, Freon! But in 1989, the Nike team discovers that this is a greenhouse gas. Whoops. So bye, Freon. And welcome SF6 gas. Too bad. Same problem. Bad. Bad SF6. Since 2006, the air bubble problem has been solved. It is made of nitrogen and oxygen.
Since 2006, the bubble is created thanks to thermoforming technology. So you have 2 layers of plastic that you heat to make it flexible.
You take a pump and you inflate the molds of the soles with nitrogen. Before sending them to your store, everything is tested. Nike wouldn't want people deflating in the streets, of course.
The bubble has become crazier throughout the years. Each year, it becomes bigger. The shoes need to look fast to give confidence to the athletes. It's psychological design for competition. It's all around your feet and a bit in your head.
In 2017, Nike makes the first Nike Air Vapor Max cushioning. You can see the air all around your shoe and you're now literally walking on air. Stop looking at her. Look at me. Isn't it time for a little fashion story time? What did John McEnroe do with the Air trainer? Are you ready for the drama? Where is the tea? We are in 1986 and in the Nike HQ, Tinker Hatfield, the designer who will draw the Air Max 1 among others, has an idea. Why not make a pair of sneakers that would fit all sport activities? The gym, tennis, basketball and even running. That way, sportsmen would only have to carry one pair of shoes. So Tinker creates the Nike Air trainer. The same year, the tennis giant John McEnroe is trying to make a comeback after a short pause in his career. McEnroe wants a new look to do so. He goes to Nike, can't find anything he's happy with, but McEnroe is never happy. Then John Robinson, who is part of the research laboratory, shows him a pair of prototypes and says, "Yeah, you can try these, but only when training, okay? Not in the tournament. These are prototypes. You can't show them." Okay, so McEnroe leaves. McEnroe always leaves. And as everybody knows, McEnroe always does what he wants. So he wears the Nike prototypes during a bloody tournament. And McEnroe wins the tournament. McEnroe always wins. So photographers shoot him intensely. And all over the world, the newspapers' headlines are "Mac is back! Is it the shoes?" with a photo of the prototype of the Nike Air trainer. Ah, John McEnroe. John Robinson is mortified. But what Robinson didn't know at the time is that Ian Hamilton, who works in the marketing team at Nike, had actually made a deal with the production company filming the tournament, offering them free shoes in exchange of close-ups of McEnroe's feet. Cheeky Hamilton! Easy advertising. The advertising campaigns. The advertising. In 1973, Nike doesn't have the means to do a classical advertising campaign. It's been born only for 1 year. And you know what happens when a brand can't compete with the big sharks? It innovates. They reach Steve Prefontaine, a US-American 5,000 meters champion. You know him, Loïc?
Il était beau.
Voilà. Steve Prefontaine is a superstar in the 1970s. So in 1973, Phil Knight makes him an offer to pay him $5,000 to only wear Nike. This is the first major athlete paid to wear Nike. Influence before influencers. Ah, prehistory. But see, innovation brings results. More legends. By paying sports celebrities to wear their products, Nike created a mythology around their shoes. Everyone wants to look like their favorite champion. And running sneakers became everyday shoes. Most of them never want to play sports. Sportswear is becoming fashion. L'équipementier sportif qui devient la mode. Révolution! We are on the 26th of March 1987, a Thursday night, and NBC is on. It's called Must-See TV. All the best written TV shows of the time are aired on Thursdays on NBC, starting at 8 p.m. So it's the most watched and expensive commercial break in the country. The first ever Nike Air ad plays. Ah, drama, music, emotions, optimism, teen spirit, America. The 26th of March is now the official Air Max day in the company. That's why when they release a new Nike Air pair, it's on the 26th of March. Christmas is on the 26th of March. We met on the 26th of March and our kid is called Cortez. Calm down, Cortez. Be nice, Cortez. The Nike culture. Nike Air has become part of pop culture. It is thriving during the 90s when hip-hop and streetwear become big, when sports, fashion and culture come together. Hip-hop superstars are wearing Nike, ravers are wearing Nike, also basketball superstars, rappers, and so all of their fans wanted what? Nike. It's also the decade of the World Wide Web, 1991, and the iMac, 1998. Online auction platforms are selling the most exclusive pair of Nike Air, reinforcing the mythology of the brand. You know what looks like an air bubble? A subscription button. Come on, hit that subscription button. Just do it!
Nike collaborates with other brands to design irresistible and unique pairs of Air sneakers. Since 2009, they've been collaborating with Rei Kawakubo from Comme des Garçons, minimalist Air Nike. In 2017, they released several models with Off-White by Virgil Abloh, now legendary for their industrial aesthetic and its exposed stitching. From 2018, the Cactus Jack and Nike collab. The swoosh is reversed. Earthquake in the sneaker universe. Since 2019, Sacai and Nike have released several pairs of sneakers with double soles, double swooshes and double tongues. And in 2022, Nike Air and Jacquemus released the Humara.
I'm wearing Nike by Jacquemus. 2024, the dynamic air era. Air freely flows between the tubes in each chamber. This setup allows air to respond to the pressure as you move, delivering a smooth sensation with every step. Look at it. It's like candies or ice. Oh, I see air.
Air for athletes. With these innovations, the Nike engineers distribute the air depending on the sport the shoes is destined to. If you're a basketball player, you need to jump. If you're a tennis player or a soccer player, you need your feet to be rooted in the ground. Your needs also change if you have lower body mass. All this defines the placement of your air bubbles.
We've all seen major athletes wear Nike. Here is a mood board for you guys. Michael Jordan. You know him, Loic?
He's so handsome.
Michael Jordan gave his name to the famous Air Jordans and even has his flying silhouette on every pair. He wears them during all his career in the NBA and wins 6 championships with his team, the Chicago Bulls.
LeBron James, also one of the biggest names of basketball, wears Nike Air. The Queen Serena Williams and the King Rafaële Nadal, they are dressed by Nike during their career, and as you know, they were at the top of every tennis competition. Rory McIlroy, yes, Nike Air also dresses golf players.
Coucou, c'est Natacha. Subscribe to the channel. Kylian Mbappé, French national football treasure. Oh, he's handsome. Since the beginning of 2024, he wears the Air Max Plus OG, inspired by the Nike Mercurial, but with the Zoom Air technology. And look at the sole. I mean, you have Eliud Kipchoge. In 2019 in Vienna, Austria, he finishes a marathon in under 2 hours. Mind-blowing. Wearing a prototype of Nike's Air Zoom Alpha Fly Next. Alpha Fly!
Kelvin Kiptum in 2023 during the Chicago Marathon, wearing the Nike Alpha Fly 3. He records the fastest ever marathon in a record-eligible race. He is the marathon world record holder. Indeed, the Alpha Fly 3 is the latest Nike marathon shoes.
And makes you move like Speedy Gonzales. To create the Alpha Fly 3, Nike worked with elite marathoners like Eliud Kipchoge on the design and 3D renderings.
One of today's Nike athletes, Sha'Carri Richardson. In August 2023, she wins the title of fastest woman in the world wearing Nike's Air Zoom Max Fly.
And for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games, Nike has released the Max Fly 2 for sprinters racing 100 meters to 400 meters. And the Victory 2 for 800 meters to 1500 meters. And you see the diagonal lines on both models? It's what makes them so stable. Stability. It's important, even for French people. Liberté, égalité, stabilité.
Track athletes can choose between the Nike Victory 2 and the Nike Max Fly 2. Basketball players have the Nike GT Hustle 3. Energy is the carrot Nike has been chasing from the beginning, and today the Nike GT Hustle 3 is more energy saving than the Nike GT Hustle 2.
Footballers have the 2024 Nike Air Zoom Mercurial. For footballers, it's really important to feel that their boot is a natural extension of their foot. The Nike research team has reduced the top of the shoe from 5 layers to 3 layers. So, it's softer and lighter. Today, Nike uses AI to imagine futuristic designs with athletes. It's called AIR, Athlete Imagined Revolution. The designs come to life with 3D printers. It is shoes made for athletes by the best athletes in the world. And voila!
Voila!
This was the fashion codes of Nike Air. You are now officially a Nicologue. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, subscribe to the channel to see everything about fashion. Comment on your favorite Nike sneakers ever. Tell me your favorite Nike athletes. See you on the tracks. I run fast now. Bye, fashion geeks. Bisous les loulous.
And write, I love Rafi in the comments!